Hello everyone and welcome back to a brand new video and welcome to round 2 of the F123 Ollie Bearman career mode. Yes, we're back this weekend here in Saudi Arabia, of course, on the Jeddah Corniche. If you missed out on the videos that went live earlier on this week, I would highly recommend going back and checking them out. But yeah, today though we return, of course, for one-shot qualifying and the sprint race, and then tomorrow before the real-life US Grand Prix, obviously we'll be back jumping in once again with the feature race as well. Bahrain delivered some absolute crazy racing and some chaotic drama, so it's definitely well worth going back and checking it out. Championship-wise, it's not looking great for us so far. P21 overall after an unfortunate puncture in the opening weekend. But hopefully on the Jeddah streets, we can have a bit of a better run of things. Let's get on with qualifying. Well, of course, as we found out last weekend, qualifying, rather understandably, incredibly important in FIA Formula 2. So we'll wait and see as to what the pace is like this weekend. Of course, yeah, want to try and make sure that we're inside that top 10 so we can try and potentially aim for reverse grid pole as well there. But of course, yeah, if you're new around here, please do get yourself subscribed. We're having a lot of fun with this series, getting very, very close now to 120,000 subscribers as well on the channel. But yeah, just making a few little setup tweaks there. Hopefully is going to allow us to have the grip, of course. The S's, I'm a little bit nervous about the S's as we dive into qualifying today, but fingers crossed we can keep it clean and tidy. And yeah, I need to focus up, of course. Made a couple of little mistakes last weekend, so you got to remember just to brake a little bit earlier than we do in the F1 cars there. But that was actually a really nice hookup through turn 1. I feel like I am definitely getting stronger and stronger in these Formula 2 cars. Of course, really did learn a lot last weekend, as yeah, it's going to be a little bit of a trial by fire as we dive into one-shot quali. Of course, I've only got one chance to try and get it hooked up there, and still got to be careful, I'm sure, of the death curve. As you can see, Amri Cordeal there in that Invicta Virtuosi car. Pretty tidy run through the S's, so maybe running just a little bit more downforce, but 2/10 down on the Belgian. Doesn't sound like a lot, but in FIA Formula 2, that can easily be 10 grid spots in these qualifying sessions. It is ridiculously tight over a qualifying session there. It's just a little bit early on the brakes in towards the S's, but hopefully we can try and put the power down on the exit just a little bit earlier than the AI, as we just try and open up the DRS shortest run as we make our way down this back straight. Look at that, yeah, our Prema. We are very, very quick in a straight line there, less than a tenth now behind Cordeal at the second split point. As we make our way in through this final sector, we're still about 2 car lengths behind the Belgian. Are we going to be able to close things up in towards the final corner? A little bit early on the brakes once again. We'll try and make sure that we get a nice drive off the corner, which we will do, and it looks like we might line up P2 on the grid then, according to the live timing here. Up towards the line we go. I think it is P2. Well, there we go then, qualifying done here in Jeddah, and it is Amri Cordeal who will be on the pole ready for Sunday's feature race. We line up alongside him though in P2, which is going to give us a reverse grid P9 start here. Enzo Fittipaldi will be on the pole ready for the sprint race there. But you can see Fred Vesti just missing out. He's going to be starting both races from down in P11 there. Championship leader Clement Novalak down in P21, so a nightmare by him in qualifying. And rather less surprisingly, it is Roy Nissany at the rear of the field. Let's get into it though. Jeddah sprint race.
Hello and welcome to the Jeddah Street Circuit, where the excitement is building for what I'm sure will be an exciting Formula 2 race here in Saudi Arabia. So an interesting circuit, Jeddah. Like some other street circuits in the Formula 2 calendar, it's likely to present a formidable technical challenge, with a number of challenging turns for our young drivers to master. Plus, it's a hot track, and that high temperature has some big implications for tyre performance that they'll need to keep in mind in order to secure a good result. As we await the start of another hugely anticipated Formula 2 race, I'm joined again by Davide Valsecchi. Davide, as a former GP2 champion, can we get some insight to what is running through these young drivers' heads as they sit out on the grid?
Ciao Alex, it's a pleasure to be here. There are nervy moments, there is no doubts about that. Mental strength is the key to remain calm and focusing on the upcoming race. Formula 2 is so competitive and all of the drivers knows that they are going to be pushing each other all of the way. In this sport, you have to be able to control your nerves.
Well, wise words there from Davide Valsecchi, but here we are then on the grid ready for the sprint race. And yeah, obviously we've only got the softs or the mediums today, but as we learnt last weekend, is that going to be a problem when we dive into the race tomorrow? Is it worth trying to gamble and do this race on a set of the soft compound tyres? Game doesn't believe it's possible. How far? It reckon... Oh, it does reckon it might be possible here. And, of course, it opens us up a massive opportunity in the race tomorrow. I don't think we'll go for it, though. I think we'll stay on the set of the mediums there. And, of course, if everyone is forced onto a two-stop, then we might have a fighting chance come the race tomorrow as well then. But lining up P9 still gives us the clean side of the track as we get ready then. 5 red lights. And it is going to be lights out. And away we go there. Fairly clean, tidy start. So we head down, whoa, in towards turn 1, but suddenly getting boxed in there as 3 wide in front of me. Iwasa, Victor Martins, and Zane Maloney. They're all going side by side through that first corner. Can't quite find a way through. Oh, and we've got a little bit of contact there through the first corner. We had to lock it up to try and make sure that we didn't hit the wall, and somehow we've not had a safety car and all of that. I think Clement Novalak has also dropped it, and somehow a tiny bit of front wing damage. I thought we were going to lose half the wing there of the start of the sprint race, but that's been a bit of a nightmare start then, as we just can't quite get the car rotated where we needed it through the first couple of corners. But yeah, what a disastrous start then to this race there. Just kind of felt like I got a little bit latched to the back of Ayumu Iwasa, didn't we, in his dams down out of turn 2, and just, yeah, car just spat me sideways off the exit of the corner here. So we're now down in the lowly P18, and once again find ourselves looking at Ralph Boschung's gearbox as we try and make our way out onto the back straight. Of course, we already, found out from last weekend. Wow, look at the straight line speed we've got here to the outside of Ralph Boschung, and we're going to split him and Isaac Hajar down the back straight. So clearly, Kramer, we have set up a very, very fast car down the straights. But yeah, this is exactly what I meant, though, obviously, when I said in Bahrain about how, obviously, because of the new format for F2, even if we end up in an incident like that on turn 1, it's not that our entire weekend is ruined anymore. We will still have a fighting chance, obviously, in the feature race tomorrow. But I want to score points today, as Teo Porcher, of course, won last weekend's sprint race, is currently in the lead of this one. Let's have a look then, see how much this damage is costing me as we come towards the end of lap 2. Jayan Daruvala, so let's say 1 minute 45 flat. Up towards the line, we are going to do a 1:45.5 there. So, of course, haven't got the slipstream or anything like that, but we certainly still seem like we're on the money, as DRS, of course, now will be enabled. But, yeah, we've got to try and get back within the 1 second of the Van Amersfoort car just in front of me. As Boschung and Hajar, I think, still duking it out further behind. Jeddah as well is definitely one of those tracks where things are probably going to get more crazy as the race goes on, just due to the nature of the DRS. And obviously the AI get far more confident later on in a race there as well. Just see a big wobble again out of the final corner, but the AI lining up thick and fast behind each other. Seems to be a train that extends right the way up to Teo Porcher at the front of the field. The gaps are definitely coming down. It's just waiting for the AI to start going side by side there. We're building more and more confidence in the car. Let's look at that, 45.1. 3.9 behind Fred Vesti, who might now have actually got himself into the points today. Really trying to tap the curbs down at turn 1. Making sure we keep 2 wheels inside the white lines, but yeah, really trying to just find the limits. Oh, we got yellow flags. Richard Verschoor going slowly. Richard Verschoor, a huge plume of smoke pours out the back of the Van Amersfoort car, and he's now out of the sprint race here, so that might give him a bit of a lifeline to the main event tomorrow. But unfortunately, as I was starting to take more and more time out of the AI, it now means the gap I need to the next car in front of me, which is now Brad Benavides, has gone up. So we need 1.8 seconds now, as we were probably going to get within the range of the sure next lap. That is so frustrating here. But we got to keep going. No, Brad Benavides is out. What on earth's going on? We've had 2 mechanical failures in the space of half a lap. Are we going to see a safety car later on in the day? And why is it just cars directly in front of me that seems to be happening to? Have I got a red shell? Oh, safety car. I thought we should get one for this, but that gives us a lifeline. Because well, I hope Mark gets on with it, because obviously what we can do now then is bolt on. I've pressed the wrong button. We can bolt on a fresh set of the soft compound tyres, of course, to see us to the end of this race. It'll also mean, of course, then that our mediums tomorrow are going to be in better shape. But will the AI do the same? It might be a hindrance now, but it could be a lifeline and a blessing for tomorrow. I believe as well it will only be a 1-lap safety car here, because of course the game basically forces you into having 2 racing laps at the end of a GP there. So as we make our way down through the final corner, are we going to see anyone else into the pit lane? Doesn't look like we are. We've got to make sure we don't get done for pit lane speeding. Or sorry, speeding before we even make it to the pit lane under safety car. But yeah, nice and tidy then into the pit lane. Of course, we're going to be last place anyway, so we don't really need to take any risks on the way into the pits here. But yeah, even if we can just recover back to about P14 then, it will definitely be worth it. But we're going to be the only car then on a fresh set of the soft compound tyres. Surely we're going to be 3 seconds a lap faster? Maybe even more than that. This is about to get wild towards the end of the sprint race here, and it kind of seemed like a no-brainer after everything we learned. I've pressed the wrong button again. After everything we learned in Bahrain. We're still trying to catch up then with the safety car queue as we make our way down in towards the final corner, but I guess as well then we're going to have warm tyres against the AI, all on old worn sets, as everyone else then is going to be on very cold rubber at the final corner. We've got 2 laps between now and the checkered flag to really make an impact here, as Clement Novalak just in front of me. But yeah, didn't change the wing, which is probably quite a good job, all things considered here, because we probably wouldn't have caught up to the rear of the train once again. But are we going to be able to try and get a run then on Clement down in towards turn 1? Yes, we are. And look at the grip we've got there. We could have probably been more audacious. Tried to have a look down the inside of Argemani as well, but we'll just hang back for now then, as yeah, Clement, another disaster in the sprint race here, but this one was more due to his qualifying antics on a Friday night. Can we have a look around the outside? Look at the grip we've got there around the outside of Mania as we make our way in through the middle, the end of the S's, sorry. Isaac Hajar next up, and I mean, oh, come on, Isaac, you can't do that. Just tried to move around in front of me. It looks like he's actually lost part of his wing as well. So Isaac Hajar really struggling late on in the day by the looks of it. But we're already basically back up to where we would have been there. I think we would have been P14 in this race. So we're making good progress here. And alarmingly, with a lap and a half to go, P17, we might not be out of points just yet. If we can get a good run and continue trying to get past cars, of course, we won't have the aid of DRS. But I'm not sure it's going to actually hinder us too much, because obviously all the AI would have it as well. Roman Stanek down the back, straight down the inside. Be very offline on the entry, but yeah, the Trident driver there basically forced into giving up that position. And yeah, we have all but recovered back to where we were then in this race. It looks like there's more and more battles going on around me as Teo Porcher leads the way to start the final lap here in Jeddah. And it looks like he could go 2 for 2 for sprint race success at the start of this new campaign. But P16 then, 1 lap to go here in Jeddah. Are we going to be able to find anything else as we head down in towards turn 1? Roy Nassani is going to go defensive on me. We're actually going to be left in a really bad spot there, as he's going to have a look down the inside of Boschong, the 2 experienced heads of FIA Formula 2. We're going to be 3 wide off of the corner as well then. Nassani, I think, will just about make it through as we try and have a look. Oh no, Boschong's hit the inside wall. Boschong, I think, hit the inside wall there and just pinged out into me. So maybe got a little bit confused because there was a car on his outside, but Boschong in the wars right towards the end of this race there. We still need to try and get past Roy Nassani as we make our way out onto the back little straightaway here. Remember when this used to be a DRS zone back when this track debuted in 2021, but round the outside we'll go. Jack Crawford, Arthur Leclerc, next car's just in front of me, but I'm just starting to think points might not be possible by the end of this, but any place we can gain is just good for the confidence. As you can see, the Dams car really struggling off onto the next straightaway there. We've got Jack Crawford then next up in front of me. As we make our way down, High Tech might be about to lose a spot as well. This is frantic stuff late on in the day. We will get down the inside as well though. There's our teammate Fred Vesti running up in 10th place then, but he's actually got a 5-second penalty. So not sure what Vesti's done today to warrant that, but as we make our way down in towards the final corner, it has been a good recovery drive. It's potentially opened up a much better strategy for us tomorrow as well. Will we be able to bag the fast slap bonus point as well? I think if we get Jack Doohan towards the line, which it's not looking like we will, we could have potentially got the bonus as well. But it is P12 over the line here in Saudi Arabia, but we might have gained a couple of spots.
Victory for ART then, after a quality performance. Tell me, Davide, what was the key to this success?
I think this race was won thanks to the tire management. You have to remember, it's not just about going as fast as you can. It's about consistency. It's about maintaining your speed over an entire race distance. So being able to keep the lap time competitive while still respecting the tires, that's where they won today.
ART, the French team who have been racing since the 90s in various forms of motorsport, are once again back on the winner's podium today after a brilliant display of driving skill. So then, it's time to see how this result affects the Drivers' Championship. The lead at the top has come down after a poor result for our points leader. Now then, Davide Valsecchi, who would you say was your driver of the day?
Difficult call, but I'd like to say Theo Pourchaire. He's just so gifted at getting the most out of the tires, and he showed that today.
And here's how things are shaping up in the Teams' Championship. ART have extended their lead over the championship. Meanwhile, Van Amersfoort's strong weekend allows them to continue their march up the table. After all this drama, you'd be mad not to join us for the next race. We hope to see you then. Take care.
Well, there we are then, the end of the Jeddah sprint race, and Theo Pourchaire back-to-back sprint race victories here to kickstart his campaign. Jean Arubula in a P2 with, Juan Manuel Correa running for a podium there. You absolutely love to see it. The second MP car, Dennis Hauger, will finish P4 there. Fittipaldi, Martins, Maloney, and Ayumu Owasa will round out our point scorers. But what did Fred Vesti do to pick up a penalty there? He got a warning for a collision with myself and then ignored yellow flags, apparently, on lap 1 there. So picked up a 5-second time penalty for that. So probably should have pit when I did as well. But that still means, Prema yet to get off of the starting blocks there. It does mean Pourchaire back into P2 of the championship, but it is still Clement Novalak at the top of the table there. I mean, look at that. What's that? 6 drivers covered by 6 points at the top of the table there. Isaac Hajar in 7th, ahead of Hauger, Kushmani and Jack Crawford rounding out our top 10. But it's Fred, myself, Leclerc, the Trident Roman Stanek, Jack Doohan, Ralph Boschung and Roy Nassani still with no points on the board. And constructors-wise, it's only us now. Prema, the only team yet to get off the starting block in the Constructors' Championship. But we are starting P2 tomorrow. We have hopefully got a bit of a better opportunity to try and score some points there. Maybe as well, keeping that little bit of life left in the medium compound tyres is going to give me a chance as well. But thank you all so much for watching. If you have enjoyed, please do make sure to leave a like, get yourself subscribed, and we'll be back tomorrow ready for the Saudi Arabian Grand Prix feature race. You guys do not want to miss that. A massive thank you to all of my YouTube members and my Patreon supporters for their continued donations to help my work. These things go much further than I think a lot of you ever realise and allow me to continue making content full-time here on YouTube. So if you want to support me from as little as £1 a month and be featured on all of these end clips, either click the join button next to the subscribe or head over to my Patreon. There's a link down in the description.